Car brands literally cannot sell cars right now for the life of them. Over 850,000 2025 vehicles still sitting on dealership lots.
We have banks that would loan 125, 150% of the value of the actual vehicle.
We'll have what's called negative equity, but that's something that we can take care of too.
20 bucks, I'll be out to the bridge so fast. Nobody can catch me.
売れない新車が85万台。今アメリカの車市場では高すぎて買えない、ローンは残債公演、修理もできないという悪循環が起きています。現場の悲鳴をリアルな声で見ていきましょう。
Car brands literally cannot sell cars right now for the life of them. There's over 850,000 2025 vehicles still sitting on dealership lots. That's cars from almost 2 years ago that still have not sold. That means 1 in every 5 cars is last year's model, and 2027 is right around the corner. So if you're trying to buy a car, what does that mean for you? Well, 3 things happen. 1, manufacturer support ends, which means the dealerships really gotta move that car. 2, it costs even more money every month just to keep it on the lot. And 3, when the newest model comes out, it's right next to the old model, so people are not gonna wanna pick that one anymore. So where does that leave you? Well, that means a store really wants to get rid of that car, so they're more inclined to sell it at a discount.
So now here's the problem. We're going to get to the tipping point where, okay, we fill up all these spots, and then we fill up our storage lot, and we're still not selling vehicles, and Ford still wants to send us trucks. So now what does the dealer do at that point? At some point, they're going to say, look, I can't take any more vehicles. We've done our flash sales. We still can't sell. We still can't roll these vehicles out. We're adding incentives now. And they're just still not going to be able to sell cars, because whether you like it or not, these dealers, these manufacturers, what's coming in front of us right now, what we see coming out in the future, the Fed's telegraphing it. The economy's bad, it's getting worse, and the Fed's not going to ease. The Fed wants unemployment to go up. The Fed wants these trucks to sit here and not sell because they need these prices to go down. So now what's going to happen with all these trucks? Somebody's going to get left holding the bag. And you know what? It's probably going to be these dealers. And it's going to be tough for a lot of these dealers, especially some dealer like this that's got so many F-150s here. And I would assume that across the nation, you're going to see many other Ford dealerships that look just like this one, where they have rows and rows and rows of F-150s that they can't sell. And they're just going to have to. Now, if you go and actually negotiate with the right Ford dealer who wants to move inventory, who wants to do volume, I would even anticipate a dealer like this one that I'm staying on right now. They have tons and tons and tons of trucks. Big volume dealer. I've seen them move with the market as far as move price adjustments as things have gotten worse in the market, as they have increased their inventory. I would imagine at a dealership like this right here, without employee pricing, without even looking at an invoice, you would be able to come and get 10, 15, maybe even at some dealerships that are really needing to move some of these F-150s, maybe even up to 20% off some of these trucks, specifically the 2024s. So in many cases right now, the reason why this program, all this grandeur, and it seems so great, why it doesn't really matter is because even before the program went into effect, you should be able to get a better price on these trucks than what the program is even offering you. So yes, it looks good, looks great in the face of America struggling and the economy in question marks and prices in question marks, prices going up. Well, Ford in all their American glory, what are they going to do for you? They're going to lower the prices of these F-150s to higher than what you could have gotten them in the first place. And I talk about invoice price quite a bit on my channel, and what invoice price is what a dealership will pay for one of these vehicles, and that's on paper. But here's the pushback. Invoice price really doesn't matter, because yes, on paper it's what a dealership is paying for the vehicles, what they're writing a check to Ford for a vehicle for, but there's so much extra money that comes from the manufacturer that can really offset that. So even if these Ford dealers are allowing you to buy these vehicles with this special plan back of invoice, well, customers are like, well, how are you even making money? What is this? How does this even make sense? It's because the invoice prices, they don't matter. So what you have is you have the invoice price, what they pay for it, and then on top of that, a dealership will get holdback. It can be anywhere between like 3 and 6% on every single vehicle that a manufacturer will kick back to them. And
Can I trade in a car I still owe money on?
Yes. So if your car value is more than what you owe, you'll actually have a little bit of money in hand, in which case, all good equity there. We can give you the same amount that you owe on your vehicle. It'll be kind of a clean slate. The other scenario is that if your car value is a little bit less than what you actually owe on that, you'll have what's called negative equity. But that's something that we can take care of too. Let's just say you owe $12,000 and your car's worth $10,000. That's $2,000 of negative equity. If you put $2,000 down, that would actually negate that negative equity and you'd be starting off clean.
with $10, $12, $15, $20,000 of negative equity on their vehicles, there's no strings that the dealerships can actually but they can pull for these consumers to be able to get them out of that amount of negative equity. I mean, it used to be that they could trade out of it, they could roll it into the back of the loan, they can lease them out of it, but they can't do that with $15,000 of negative equity. The car values, because of the situation we went through just a couple years ago, have plummeted off of what a lot of these consumers actually paid for the vehicles, what these banks are just as much of a problem for this car market right now as the consumers were that signed up for the loans. When they have banks that would loan 125, 150% of the value of the actual vehicle, how's a customer supposed to get out from under that loan in just a few years if they want to trade out?
The math doesn't add up, unfortunately. I really tried. I really was hoping maybe we can save it, but at this point, I got to a point where it's like, we are basically going to have to reconstruct this entire wire harness. The labor and the time involved and the warranty that we have to give on this job just became redundant. A lot of folks, especially, folks that DIY some things, it's like, why don't we fix things? Why do we replace things these days? Folks, it is just the math doesn't add up. Car repair is expensive, and you know what? Labor is expensive. That's what's expensive about car repairs. Yes, parts can be very expensive, but labor is expensive. And why is labor expensive? Folks, because life is expensive. Running a shop is a very expensive endeavor. Insurance, you gotta pay your guys right. You gotta do so much, and the cost just, honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm just paying bills and paying things and fixing things and this insurance and this inspection and the fire marshal wants us to do this, and it's all for good reason. It's not like they're just imposing these things on us, but costs are very high to run an automotive shop. The labor has to reflect that. We also gotta make a living and have to put food on our tables. So sometimes car repair, you for example, I'll give you a prime example that folks always ask about, an alternator. Well, by the time you take an alternator apart, or take it out of the car, well, that labor, you're paid regardless. You take an alternator apart, you inspect everything. You don't know what you're gonna need until you take it apart and inspect everything. And then the car is disabled now for a few days until we order parts, exactly what we need. Well, if we replace everything, suddenly, by the time you add the labor to take this alternator apart, check everything, clean everything, replace what needs to be replaced, repair what needs to be repaired, you just paid for a brand new alternator and then some. And then here's as a shop owner, the theory of that. What happens if that alternator has a problem 2 months? In the US, you have to give a 1-year warranty. What happens after 2 months when something failed? Now you're stopping your shop again, pulling that alternator out, seeing what's going on with it. Hopefully it's something repairable. Customer's upset. Your time is gone.
What amount of money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic? You can't work on things for the rest of your life.
$20.
Shane,
yeah.
What amount of money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic? Can't work on things for the rest of your life.
I like what I do. I'd say like at least 200K.
200K?
At least.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, I love doing this shit.
200K. That's all I would.
Man, if somebody had a gun to your head and said you can't be a mechanic, how much money are you gonna take? You're gonna say 200K?
How much money would somebody have to give you for you to quit being a mechanic and you can't work on anything for the rest of your life?
Give me $20, I'll be out this bitch so fast. You couldn't even catch me.
Zach, how much money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic? You can never work on stuff ever again.
Enough to pay off my tool bills. That's about it. Probably like 30 grand and I'm done.
What amount of money would you have to be given to quit being a mechanic?
Quit being a mechanic?
Yeah.
For the rest of my life?
You can never be a mechanic ever again.
I just love it so much, so don't even give me money.